So you doing Revelry podcast for the past 2 years, still not being monetized. Do you see it as a failure or have you ever thought about quitting?
No.
Is it possible for you to name your least favorite guest?
There's a reason why I don't get people younger than 30 years old on this podcast.
Oh my god, today I'm stopping the episode!
What the fuck?
Okay, good morning guys. Whether you are watching in the morning or the evening or in the afternoon. Today we are here to interview Mr. LENERD. Unfortunately, because I'm the host for today. Okay, actually no. Okay, we start. Hi guys, welcome back to the Revelry podcast. So today our guest here, we have Mr. LENERD here.
In my own show.
In his own show that he is not actually hosting today, but I'm actually going to ask him the questions today. So maybe you can start with a quick intro. But before you start on your quick intro, right? I would like to ask you who is really LENERD and who is actually Patrick? For those who don't know, his actual name is Patrick. So who is really LENERD and who is Patrick?
Firstly, right, I want to say I'm so sorry, Tang Ling Jin, because I didn't know this one got food texture. It's fucking amazing.
He didn't know until I told him that.
Yeah, shit man. I'm such a noob alcohol drinker. I fail to identify the notes.
He just likes to drink the gin.
I like gin a lot, that's all. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna Yes.
It's good.
But okay. So I think I've received quite a lot of comments, right? That from my family, from Jumbo Code XXL, from Night and Day, right? They say that right, how I speak in real life is exactly how I speak on camera. So I think it kind of blurred the lines between who is LENERD and who is Patrick already. I think even my girlfriend saves my name as LENERD. I'm LENERD. The fuck. So I think it's one and all the same. But as I start to expand the LENERD brand, right, and then I get more people to help me outsource some of the stuff, right, LENERD will eventually become Tiesto, you know. So I cannot really call LENERD me anymore. So I have to really pen myself as Patrick. I think a very good example is Diplo. If you realize Diplo, right, when in his songwriting credits, he always put himself as Wesley Pence. Is it Wesley Pence? Yeah. Then he don't actually put Diplo because I think Diplo is really a collective effort kind of project So I think eventually, but up till today, for the already past 16 years, LENERD has just been Patrick Lewis doing a million things. So I think it's one and the same. And if you see me in real life, you can call me out if I don't act like how I act in camera, because I can guarantee you 100% I'm literally the same motherfucker.
Who is there to confirm that? I don't know. But
in the comment section below.
How have you been doing this for actually? Since you started, which was uni?
Doing this as DJing.
Your music journey.
Wow, okay. So I first started out hating music a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because I was a very small kid when I was young, and then when I play the recorder when you are primary school, I cannot reach the C major, the last finger I cannot reach. So every time I blow, right, always loud hong one.
That's the finger for
Yeah. Then I just fuck, I cannot figure this out, you know. I'm not gonna do music, and then I just boycott music all the way until literally from primary school all the way until poly tier 2, where I went to a CCA drive, and then I saw DJ Rattle scratching. I'm like, oh shit, it's damn cool, and I don't think this one has Tauge for me to memorize, right? I think maybe I can, you know. So I came in from that hip hop turntablism angle, and then when I first did it, I knew right away I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. Yeah, whether it pays the bills or not, and clearly it's not really paying the bills now, so I'm still doing it. Yeah, so it's been 16. 2 is
19...
about
18 years old.
2008
around there.
Till now is what? 17 years maybe?
Yeah, 16, 17 years.
God damn.
So you mean from the start, you will introduce yourself as LENERD and not Patrick?
No, because it's very confusing. like they call me one name, then they thought it's two separate person. Then I just like, hey, you know what? I spend more time as Leonard than Patrick. It doesn't really make sense for people to call me Patrick anymore. So people just call me Leonard. And nobody call me Patrick. Like literally nobody. Yeah, I'm like
How about your
yeah.
mom?
My mom don't even call me Patrick. My mom call me by like my nickname. Yeah.
Ah boy.
Yeah.
Okay, but then like what was your this is it moment when you decided like okay you're gonna do like music like full time instead of whatever you are studying?
I don't have a this is it moment. I really like, most Singaporeans I would say, most Singaporeans don't have passion, they like money, full stop, so they just work a job that has money and they just go about their daily lives. All of my family members are like that. Yeah.
But then, engineering earns you a lot, right?
Supposedly, yeah, right. I was invited to join NTU after my body, apparently I got stellar results. And then after that, I was invited to fucking work at Singapore Power's PUB after I graduate. I was even offered, right, a microprocessor, skip masters to go PhD direct by one of my professors in NTU. Yeah, and then microprocessor now is called nanotechnology. So I could have been fucking doing stuff.
So you could have been called a doctor.
Yes. So, but I decided that no, I'm gonna be a DJ because I'm gonna be like fucking world famous. I'm skillful and practice and all that kind of shit. I don't really care about the money and just go deep dive and do it, So there's really not a moment where I'm like, whoa, I gained this level of fame, that's why I'm gonna do it full time. It's like, hey, I'm happy making $800 a month, let's go. I don't care. I just love it. I just do it. Yeah. And it stuck with me now, which give rise to a next problem. It's like now I need to figure out how to make money out of this.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you already know, it's very hard to make money.
Out of music, right?
Out of music in Singapore specifically. So moving on to like the next question, right? So how has it changed for you like through the years when you just started as compared to now? Especially like post-COVID, right? Where everyone's kind of like, oh, like the industry like fall a lot and then like people are like chasing a different lifestyle now or all of those things. Like how has your vision, goals, or even like problem faced changed throughout all these like different periods of your life?
Okay, I think just now, right, we were doing a podcast with Damien Steven, right, who is like a rave metal artist, DJ, guitarist, and then I was saying, right, I was given this opportunity at Nova, which is now my only residency, Leonard Plus One, where they are like, do whatever you want, you can book whatever artist, you can play whatever song, just make it work. And I think that is like the ultimate level of luxury you have in Singapore. In Singapore level, right, I think if you convert that to Amsterdam, I'm like fucking hardware already. You think about it. Yeah. But obviously, because Amsterdam being a bigger market, there's more people, there's more competition, like kids that are like just birthed from their parents' womb, right, really have one controller in their hand, practicing Pro Tools, so you can never fucking beat them. Yeah. So the level of competition is there is very high, but the market is very big. So everyone gets a fair shot. But here is like everything is super small size. So the fact that if you get an opportunity or the fact that you can do this as a part-time or full-time, right, wow, it's really like fucking difficult in Singapore. So I'm very glad to have that opportunity. And then right now, right, as compared to last time I always like, I only like, get to DJ, full-time, low salary. And then back then my thinking was like, it's not good enough. And then hardware was so far away, right? But now, right, I kind of view it in a Singaporean context, lah. And then I realized, wow, shit, I'm getting the best that this country has to offer already. Yeah, and if you really want to like become bigger, you need to start touring, you need to start collabing with overseas people, lah. Yeah. And then music, I don't think is the end game, lah, to be honest, because right now, everybody's grandmother can also produce music already. You have to like do more than just producing music because technology has made it so simple, right? Then you don't have the competitive edge, like if you just do music, hey, this person also can do music, this person also can do music, right? You need to be like produce so much more, right? Or something unique that allows you to stand out. So I guess that's what I learned from the beginning of my journey all the way until now. Last time was like skill very important. Now it's like balance is very important. And also I think as a person, I kind of have grown in a sense that I used to be super logical, not like I'm not logical now, but I can step out of my head, right, and see, okay, I understand why you feel that way, or rather, I understand why you think that way, yeah, and then create like a better dynamic when working together with others, which is very crucial to be successful in the music industry . Like no single artist, Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift, right, has done it themselves. Everything is a team. Yeah. And if you think that it's by one person, that means their marketing team has done a great job, right, in creating that vision to trick you.
So how will you compare your residency at Zouk as compared to Nova?
Technically, everybody working there is the same. Okay. So, but then the thing is, I think, right, they have grown after 5 years. When I first started my Zouk residency, and now it's like maybe like 8 years apart. And everybody has grown. I've seen everybody in their rowdy phase, and then now it's like more wise. And then, even though, right, it's not as happening as Zouk, right, truth to be told, right, but the team dynamic is so much better. Like, people that I didn't felt like I could work with last time, and now it's like, we are communicating so well. It's a shock, like, so that's why, like, I believe in second chances, giving people second chance. And then, so over here at Nova, we are also trying to make sense of like our landscape. I'm not really the music director to be speaking on behalf of Nova, right? But I'm just there like every other day, right? So I think we're trying to create a balance of offerings. Beside us, the truth is Rasa Space, a pure underground band. We can't be doing that because they are the authentically underground guys. So we'll just do like half-half, like, people that like the half-half kind of sound, half underground, half mainstream. As long as it's nice, we'll play that kind of vibe. And then also kind of try to focus more on the people, because I think the shortcut, right, of building a club, right, is to spam guest DJ. Let's go. But what if on days you don't have guest DJ? So you need to build personalities. Like, hey, I come here because this bartender is very funny. Yeah. And then I like the vibe. I like the people here, or the classic go clubbing thing, right? I want to go clubbing tonight because I'm very sian, I'm very stressed about my work. But then I don't have anybody to go to. But never mind, I'll go to Nova because I know everybody's not there. That's the thing that we're trying to do, lah. Yeah.
Okay, so now that you know that Leonard and Patrick is technically the same person.
I feel I can afford to hire more people. Fuck, broke, man.
So how did Revelry started? Because it kind of started with you, right? So how did it started? Where did the concept of Revelry actually came from?
So in COVID, I was retrenched from Zouk, and then after that, I was like, okay, should I go back to my engineering job, or should I like do some simple shit, right, and focus on content creation, And then I'm like, fuck, man, let's chase my non-monetizable dream. Let's go. I thought that was the best decision. So I worked as a Grab delivery for maybe 3 months before I found my current job. Then in that period, right, I'm just like working 1 or 2 days a day, right, and then I'm chonging YouTube production. So I have a lot of YouTube videos, vlogs, tutorials, and everything, right. And then try to make sense of the content landscape. I did like 8 TikToks a day, And then during that, right, I'm trying to build my own thing, right. And then I got a few friends that we came together during COVID, right, and we are like, hey, I don't think we can do this alone, man. Let's like kind of form a collective or a joint venture together to kind of make this work, And then it started out as Project Revelry, Yeah, because project as in the song, the Infinity, that song, right? Fuck, man, we are like some rave kids, And then we thought like, okay, project sounds good, and then Revelry is like everybody like to party, everybody like to drink, right? So that was like a DJ collective at the beginning, and then we tried to do DJ mixers, right? 4-song DJ mixers, right? At fucking places you will never ever dream of. Okay, we went to a cave at DJ inside there. And after that, we go to St. John Islands, right? Got one big massive tree fall down, and then we DJ on a rotten log, that kind of stuff. So we literally traveled the whole entire country just to shoot DJ mixers, And then like people saw us like, hey, these people are quite crazy, man. We even booked a trip to Genting, go and DJ inside the cable car, all that kind of stuff. And then eventually, where the restrictions are lifted, right, we threw our first event. For the first 3 months, right, dude, sold out plus waitlisted, man. You can't believe like how fucking much money we make. It's insane.
That was the Lady Wu nights, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's insane. Because everybody's revenge spending. But then after that, everything just goes south, And then we start to realize that nightlife is actually dead, because people realize that they don't have to have nightlife to survive the past 2 years of COVID when everybody's locked down. So the Singaporean consumer appetite is very different already. And then I had to like make a decision as the owner of the collective, right, to adapt to the changing market. And then I just felt like content is the way. Like as a musician for so many years, right, I asked myself this question. Why, right, music producers are constantly producing music, right? And then it's like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. But for YouTubers, it's constantly good, 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 getting better and better and better and better and better. And then it is all because of like YouTube analytics. It's more logical. It's something that you can analyze, right? And then you can learn from your mistakes. You can see redirected traffic, what kind of like search term people search to reach your video. You can actually learn how to get better. But music is like different. It's like just, producing what you feel, channeling your emotion, and sometimes it might connect with the audience, sometimes it doesn't connect with the audience. Very often it doesn't connect with the audience. So YouTube seems like the next logical thing that we have to do, aka content. So we did various forms of like long form, short form. We even did funny stuff. We are like, there's one content we did was like, Charlene will cut international guest DJ's face, but we will zoom in all the way until the mouth. And then it's like, can you guess the DJ based on the mouth? Then you just like, do this kind of content. We do a million content, man, to finally come to a podcast. Because at the end of the day, doing content, you have to be regular. It has to be sustainable. And podcast seems to makes the most sense. And also rise of podcast thanks to COVID, right? So hence here we are. And I've benefited tremendously from podcasts. So I think it's like, you are adding more good into the world. You're not just like throwing bullshit, doing more like I show speed stuff just to like waste people's time, basically. Yeah.
But how would you say that have changed from a collective to like the podcasting that you are doing with like LENERD plus one? Because it's quite different, right? From the start, it's like a DJ collective whereby you have all these people like doing just like events and whatever. But then now you are focusing more on like podcasts. And of course, like with the Nova residency, right? It's like LENERD plus one. So how did that vision and goal change for you?
Because at the end of the day, right, I think it boils down to the basics of we love dance music, we love DJing, right? And it will eventually come back. But the problem is now, right, people are not going out as much. And people only make the effort to go out, right, if it's something worth it. So right now, the stage, right, I feel wherever it's at, right, is we are trying to give value to our fan base so that they will want to support us. Like we give enough value so that they want to support us. Make it worth their time. And then whenever we have like people in the chat, like, hey, these guys, okay, because right now we are doing podcasts and then we are doing like vlogs. If we go other country, like music festival, we'll do a vlog. And then we still do like random DJ mix here and there. And then people know that we are DJs and we like to throw events. But it's like, it doesn't make sense if fucking 100 people come on. It doesn't fucking make sense, Right now, I'm done with the 100 people phase really. Yeah.
Wait. I just realized my mic is not on. I just on it. Is it on for yours?
Oh my god, all this while. But then just use but that one also not clear.
Can not?
We just start from wherever. Yours
also not on.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh my god.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, whatever. Now it's like what? What's the timing?
15 minutes? About 20?
20 minutes in already. Okay.
Okay.
All the good stuff gone. Yeah.
All the good stuff.
Good.
Okay, so I continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, how does everything link? So just now I also talk a little bit about that with Damien. Basically, we need to build the fan base. We have to bring value to your community first in order for them to care about you. And then when they care about you, then they care about what you do. So right now, I think it's in the give value kind of phase. Because done were the days where people need to go to a rave, people need to club. Now they don't need to club already. When a DJ wants to throw an event, right, you are literally begging or you want people to come down and watch you. So they are doing you a service, You are not doing them a service by them coming down to watch you. To be very honest. Yeah. Like, humans don't need to go in club and survive. It was not like the dark days when like Chicago techno was first invented, right? There's no entertainment. Oh my god, clubbing is really my release. But now it's like TikTok is my release. Instagram is my release, So you want other people to come down and watch your show, right? They are actually providing you value. So why would they get their ass out to come and support you if they don't know who you are? They never receive enough value from you, So that's my thinking right now. So right now it's like my value generating phase. And then when eventually there's enough people say that, hey, you know what, revelry is cool. I hope that, you guys are chill. We want to hang out with you, right? We can like, hey, you know what? Today we're going to Potong Pasir eat the best frog porridge. Let's go. You know, then everybody go. Or like today we're throwing a rave, and then everybody will come because they like us. They like what we give to the audience. They want to hang out with us. Then like that, then that's when we come back to do what we love to do lah, which is throwing events, doing music related stuff. Yeah lor.
So back on that question, right, of why you actually stopped doing events. So let's be real lah. Like, is it because of politics or is it because of the cost of running events?
Cost lah, dude. Running events don't need people and one person also can run event. I don't need people help one, right?
So how much do you actually spend running per event?
Wow. I shall not review that because I have not even reviewed it to anybody. But I would say lose money in not 5-digit, but lose enough money, right, for me to see that there is no potential unless I do something else. Yeah. Which is like to build relationships lah, basically. Build relationships with venues, with your audience. Yeah lor. Basically give people value lah, really. There's no other way lah. Like for example, right, you see Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is not you giving, like you go Tomorrowland, right? Is you not giving them, you giving them value. Is they giving you value? You know why? Because Tomorrowland is so epic. You go down there and enjoy your holiday, you know, take your mind off work. Everything is beautifully crafted. Right? The experience itself, right? Tomorrowland is giving you value. That's why you go to Tomorrowland. That's why you buy a ticket. That's why you camp down there, fight with everybody, use auto clicker, you know. But for a local Singapore event, most of the time, right, you go is support your friend, you know. You give your friend a value, yeah. So if it's like a value exchange, yeah. That's what I feel, yeah. And
Okay.
when you throw events, right, there's so many people throwing events already. So your events, music, alcohol, that's it. Music, alcohol, dance. This person, music, alcohol, dance. Also music, alcohol. Then like that, we never like level up the playing field, you know. Yeah. I think like when we throw an event, right, it has to be more than that. Yeah. To be level up the playing field and also like meet people's expectations so that Singaporeans can stop saying that Singapore sucks.
But isn't that also on the event organizers' responsibility to make sure that it's not just like dance, alcohol, music?
Okay, see, number one, event organizer firstly, right, mostly are poor and they don't have the capital to do more stuff. That's a fact. Secondly, right, is event organizer, right, they are expert at event organizing. They are not expert in community creating. They are not very good at value giving. So they don't have a fan base ready to go, you know, like Taylor Swift already got fan base ready to go and activate to throw, you know. Yeah, Taylor Swift comes Singapore, bam, you know, all the Swifties all come, you know. But as an event organizer, you need to have that group of die-hard fans, right? Not followers, but fans. So, depth of the follower.
But then that also go back to like, how do you acquire all these fans, right? Because you are saying like Taylor Swift, of course Taylor Swift started from somewhere that is like zero, whereby she has no fans, and then how did she like acquire all these people? So like, how do you as an event organizer can value add to that? Like, how do you acquire your people?
Some might disagree that Taylor Swift start from zero because she has a lot of billionaire fathers and shit, but that's another topic, okay? But Taylor Swift did provide value by writing songs that relate to a lot of prepubescent female, and then people feel connected to her through her lyrics and they want to see her in real life. And then of course there's a lot of like marketing stuff that is going on in the background that most of us don't really know about lah. Like the image, like the kind of variety TV that she's in, or dramas that she suddenly got cameo, talk shows, you know, that kind of stuff that create the parasocial relationship between her and the audience. So as an event organizer, as a collective, as an artist, right, you need to have die-hard fans lah, or super fans as they say, in order to power whatever you try to do. Like previously we had a podcast discussing about the importance of community, right? Community is not important anymore. It's necessity. It's like basic. Now anything also need community already. Because like what you said, right? TikTok, IG Reels, YouTube Shorts, right, are all powered by algorithms. So they don't show you who you follow anymore. Who you follow, it means nothing really. They just show you the best things going on now and then you won't leave the platform. So how do you still continue supporting your fellow creators, right? It is if you join those exclusive communities, if you join those like exclusive Patreons, yeah. or Bandcamp that you can continue supporting your artists by having your notifications turned on. If not, right, whatever your artist produce, right, will be drowned. Because as a human artist, right, not AI, right, as a human, right, the work that you produce is good, bad. There are certain days on, and also based on how you feel, your mood, and everything lah. Because at the end of the day, entertainment is art, right? There is no like, it's not S&P 500. Yeah.
Yeah. So from your perspective as a creative business owner, artist, musician, whatever you want to call
Graphic
yourself.
design, door beach, dishwasher.
What is really going on in the nightlife scene? What do you think is really going on? Whether it's the good or the bad? Like, what do you think is really going on?
I think the number of people that want to club has significantly shrunk. And then also, there is no... Like, people don't really want to gather anymore. People don't really want to be social. They just scroll, DM each other, Microsoft Teams, that's it, And alcohol has always been a social lubricant. And when people don't need to gather, they don't have the reason to drink alcohol. And that's why alcohol sales goes down. I don't know where I see this from, right? Global alcohol sales from millennials is like 20 million. And then Gen Z only buy like 20 billion alcohol worldwide sales, and then it's like divide by 10 when it comes to Gen Z. Gen Z is consuming a lot less alcohol, also because maybe now there's this like health conscious trend. Oh, I'm alcohol free for 5 years, that kind of thing. So all these kind of thing add up to contribute to like nightlife, clubs closing down, being less relevant, which also gives rise to kind of day raves. So will nightlife and raves or music related events be gone forever? I don't think so, but I would just say that only the best of the best can survive, and the best of the best, right, will be expected to take a massive pay cut, if I think about it. Yeah, like, because with lesser general audience, right, let's just say Tomorrowland won't die one, okay? Tomorrowland will survive, but maybe this time they tell all their headliners, okay, the fee is going to be less. Because that's how the global market is shrinking. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So that's what I feel could potentially happen.
What about like your perspective, right? Being in the scene for so long now, what do you think some are like the common mistakes? Not really like mistakes, but then something that are being done differently that might seem like a red flag to you that is causing like the decline in like the nightlife industry.
Wow. Just to think about it now. There's so many, but I cannot really pinpoint in words. What is it?
But what is like the biggest thing that you think is like, wow, shit, when I see this, I'm like, this really sucks.
Wow, fuck, we are like talking about this every day. Now want to talk about it, I cannot figure out. What is the biggest red flag when it comes to clubbing world? When it comes to running a club?
The nightlife industry. Whether it's like underground events, regular events, or like club nights and everything.
I know already.
Because you have been to all of it, nah.
I know already. So you see, when we talk about music producers versus the company Apple, Apple is like constantly growing year on year and becoming the biggest company, one of the biggest top 5 companies in S&P 500, right? It's because they have one mantra, right? They always listen to their customer feedback, then they will like do something about it. And then the better the customer like it, the better it is, but obviously, you got all your hard disk nerds, they are like, oh, why your hard disk cannot plug out and change? Okay, we don't care about you, okay? So, but that's the general philosophy, right? Is listening to the customer feedback. So I think nightlife has to also adopt that, have a channel for people to give you feedback, right? And then like, for example, okay, people don't like to stay up late so that they can work the next day. Okay, that's the feedback, take the feedback. Secondly, they don't want to cab back because very expensive, right? Bloody hell, I cab from like Serangoon Scouts Camp from Sunda Music Festival back to my house, $50. What the heck? But I still do it. I support my friends. I love my friends. I love Ice Cream Sundae, okay? I do it for you guys. So, but not everybody's going to be like that. So you need to listen to the feedback. And secondly, right, people don't want alcohol, right? Collect with Bougie Botanicals, Bougie Botanicals got such good like non-alcoholic alternatives and options. So these are some examples where I feel like nightlife establishments can implement. And then if they think about like profit margin, right? Oh, if we don't sell alcohol, then no profit margin, right? Then you need to think of alternate ways, lor. Because would you rather operate at the current model and then your club is like empty as shit? Do you think that's a good way? In hopes that the people come back to nightlife, or you faster adapt? Yeah. Like Zouk Clarke Quay during COVID. Whatever that the management done, right? I think the thing that stands out to me the most, right, is how quickly they adapted to a kitchen model. Yeah, to like screening movies. Yeah. And they quickly switched out the nightclub model, right? In order to survive just an extra few more months so as to don't get people retrenched lah. Yeah, so I think that's a very good example of like adapting to the ever-changing world lah. Because of COVID, and then post-COVID is also another phenomenon. And then now whatever that's going on in the world, if you don't move fast enough, right, you might become a extinct establishment, concept, extinct industry. I don't even know what the word is. Yeah, like a not relevant industry anymore. Yeah.
But wouldn't the extinct environment be kind of like the niche and cool crowd by then?
If in UK lah, but Singapore only 6 million populations, yeah. So little. Like for example, let's just say, right, in
Not
every
that
country,
little lah.
dude, fuck man. Okay, let's just say in every country,
if you just
right,
have like 200 of those 6 millions, you're like, okay, not bad.
but then the thing is, you see, 200, right, you can only throw one event once every 3 months, once every 6 months. Then the owner on the venue, they do what? They just like jerk off every day, is it? They need like continued business, right? That's the problem.
Maybe they will.
Yeah, so it needs like more volume lah, I would say. Like Singapore, let's just say every country, right, only got 0.1% of the people club. So Singapore maybe like 60,000 people clubbing in total lah. But 0.1% clubbers in each country means a very different amount. Yeah, and then the bigger the population, right, then you can afford to have subculture, sub-genre nights. Well, Singapore, you want to throw one like dubstep night already, having trouble to like gather 50 people already, you know. Yeah.
That's true. So like back to the nightlife industry, right? How do you navigate yourself in the scene? Because it's always considered as something that is very like negative, like if you are attached, you shouldn't be clubbing and then all those kind of thing, right? So how do you like avoid drama or like conflict with people?
Wow. So far I'm good, man. Yeah. So far I'm pretty good.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Like from okay, firstly, right, I guess this is like a kind of like a two-part question. The first one is like nightlife is being viewed negatively, right? I would also like to add, right, nightlife it seems very secretive, and when I first like kind of like navigate it, right, I cannot really understand how it works, and then you know, who do I talk to get the next booking? In fact, I don't even know where to learn DJing from, because back then the YouTube wasn't very prevalent yet, so I need to like actually go and find someone to go and learn DJing from. That kind of stuff lah. So I think it all boils down to like building relationships. Relationships is really the key to anything on planet Earth lah, to be honest. And then from there, then you can see what kind of artist you want to be, lor. Do you want to be more relationship focused? You want to be more business focused, or you want to be more technically focused, musically focused? And then you slowly build upon that foundation to become the product that you wish to become lah. Yeah, as an artist.
Will you consider that having the right connections or like enough connections is the reason why you can succeed in the nightlife industry?
I think I would have been bigger, right, if I actually bothered building connections. I'm just very lucky, right, that I'm in the mode, right, where I'm constantly joining DJ battles, constantly posting content, then people come and find me. I never actively build connections. If not, I would have been way bigger. And now I'm starting lah, which is like quite late lah, but then it has to be done lah. Like what Benjamin King used to say in our previous podcast, right? Connections is everything, but once you reach there already, right, everybody is a friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know. So what makes you stand out is your skill lah, is your ability to show up, to perform, your character as a person, yeah. So, but sad to say, your skill, all this may not matter in the beginning lah. It's really about who you know, and then you are being placed there. And then when you're placed there, can you perform? Then that's where you truly shine, you know. Yeah, that's what I feel lah about nightlife scene.
So let's say like you being a friend of a friend of a friend, right? Or like a friend of a friend of a friend. How do you distance yourself from toxic people? Let's say you have identified certain people that you're like, oh, I don't want to associate with. Like how do you decide like when do you want to stop associating with them?
I remember somebody told me this, right? Like for example,
Is it a personal experience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody told me this, right? That this person is like being very toxic to me, right? I will fucking earn so much money, right? And then I'll come back to the club, and then I will like fucking pop bottles in front of his face. But then my reply to him is, but he's a toxic person that ruined your life. Why you want to contribute to the KPI of his night? That is fucking foolish. So in 2025, right, in the social media age, right, when somebody says something bad about you in the comments, right, and then you reply, right, that comment get more engagement and then it gets pushed up. And then you are technically giving the person more attention. So the best way, right, to deal with haters or negative energy, right, is to completely ignore it, block it, and then they got no ammunition to fire at you already, right?
What if it's your own content that people are leaving a hate comment on?
Okay lah, like
they just engage just to get the engagement up.
It really depends, but I usually don't. But I will just like share with my friends like, hey, fuck, we got a hater already, because it's quite rare, you know. Our content like fuck, not many people watch. Having hater is like, hey, yeah, you know,
really?
a bit shook lah. But then, I realize as you get more and more famous, right, your job is to reply to comments to increase the engagement lah. But don't reply to hate comments, because even though yes, you reply to all comments, hate and good comments, right, but it will kind of eat at your soul. And I think as compared to most people, I'm really quite logical lah. I'm not very emotional kind, right? But I see myself certain days also being affected by this kind of stuff lah. So you don't want to like, I don't even know whether the word propagate is it the right way. Yeah, propagate this, like feed this thing, right? Yeah, I know the word really, like proliferate the thing, like to make it more like, you know, fan the flames. So just reply to the good comments. Hey, thanks guys, thanks for the support. And then, you know, good will attract good.
But what if fanning the flame will actually get you more good than bad?
Yes, that's what everybody does, right? Then that's
the gamble, right, that you have to make.
No, that's where you see the line of like the kind of content creator that you want to be lah. Like for me, it's like, because content creation is a lot about luck, a lot about how people react to your stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of people create sensational content, right? Fucking like Stephen Lim, you know, doing crazy shit. Yeah, to get reactions, whether it's good or bad reaction, is still marketing. Yeah. So I try to avoid that, which is why like my life is like quite peaceful lah. Yeah. So even though I might not be the most successful, most famous person in the world, right? But at least I have like a peace of mind, and I think that's like way more important. I want to earn money, but I don't want to earn money that badly. I've been poor for so long already, so I'm actually okay, you know. Yeah.
Okay, but then like both of us being Geminis, right? We are known to be like double faced and kind of like fake. So how do you balance keeping it real and being on a superficial level that you won't be able to offend anyone?
That's what everybody says, right? That Gemini people are double faced. But I would like to say that I've studied both.
Say it for the gang.
Yeah, I would like to say that, right? Even though I believe in astrology a lot, right? But I also study astronomy for my jams in NTU.
What is astronomy?
Astronomy is study space lah. Astrology, right? Study like
the stars.
It's a pseudoscience lah, dude.
Okay,
like you put the stars together. Oh, they look like crap. So it's Cancer, you know, that kind of shit, right? Yeah, but do you know that the Earth, right, I think has tilted since its birth, like maybe by a few degrees, maybe 2 degrees or something, right? That the constellation, right, of Cancer, right, is now 2 months offset. So everything, because whatever you see, the constellation is 360,
I'm a Cancer
right?
now.
So we
are Cancer now.
You are technically, I don't know, is it 2 forward or 2 backward lah? But you would either be Pisces or you would be Leo.
Oh no.
Yeah, like everything is off already.
Oh no.
So what last time people say Gemini, right, is really off already. Yeah, but for the sake of argument, right, okay, let's just say with Gemini, right. But then the thing is, I don't think we are very two-faced. I think we are like too fucking truthful already, to be honest. Yeah, we say what we think, but then the problem is, right, we think very quickly. And then we always get new perspective, right? And then we are like, hey, sorry, update. Yeah, this is the new train of thought lah. And why stick with something that is not working, right? You should be updating when you find new information. Like, you don't tell your like fucking like your MacBook when it's updating, right? Hey, no, don't update this one. Stay the previous version. The previous version I like better. Unless you're a DJ using Serato Scratch Live lah, which you cannot update to the most updated one. But I would say that's how we operate, and people that can that have worked with us, right, will realize that we are very, at least for both of us lah, we are very like this. You see what you get, yeah. And then we really focus on like understanding how things work just because we like it. We don't really like have an objective behind. We just want to know why it works, and that's it. And that give us like maximum orgasm, you know.
Why you work, how you work,
Yeah.
and then what is the result?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but then like interestingly, moving on to that, right? Because you were saying like how we are so like realistic and everything. And then we realize that like, oh, things is not gonna work, so we move on to the next one, just being very realistic, right?
Yeah.
So you doing like Revelry podcast for the past 2 years and is still not being monetized. How do you feel about it? Do you see it as a failure, or do you just see it as like a stepping stone or like a process that you are going through?
Monetization is definitely the goal lah for anybody doing any form of art, right? But then the thing is like, across all the things that I've done, right, DJing, music production, content creation on short form, podcast and everything, right, I realized that the podcast is the most rewarding, right? Because without reaching out, right, we have all our sponsors here. And that's like the biggest proof already that we are going in the right direction. But then the thing is, obviously, we want to be answerable to the sponsors also, ma. So we need to also find ways to like gain more eyeballs for this podcast. Yeah. So that the sponsors can get their return of investment lah. So I would say of all the things that I've done, this podcast has been the most rewarding and giving me the most returns lah. And also like for everybody that I got on a podcast, right, it's not just like we are learning the skills that they have accumulated across the age, right? But after the podcast, right, we always hang out and talk and chill and get to know each other as people. And that is like, wow, that is like unquantifiable gains, I feel, that you cannot get from producing music. You cannot get from DJing. You DJ is like, you DJ finish already. That you don't, you know, people just forget about night already. That's the end, you know. Yeah.
So when you talk about like quantifiable gains, who is your favorite guest so far? That you have so many guests, right? 100 over of them. Probably about 200 lah, if you consider some episodes being like multiple guests.
Multiple lah. But I would say the type of guest lah.
Who is your favorite guest?
I like people that are like open-minded and shameless. People that speak their mind.
Who?
Very good example, Andrew Ng. I love him. I talk to him off podcast
Andrew
like
Ng,
every day.
he loves you.
Every day, okay? And then on podcast, we just like maximum unruly behavior on camera. And then I love Benjamin King, crazy individual. And it's always a good time hanging out with Ben lah. And then who else? I like Tyler from fucking Tanglin Chin. Longest podcast on this channel, 3.5 hours, bloody hell. And then we have like interns making cocktail off camera, insane. Yeah. So just to name a few lah, but there are quite a lot lah, where the synergy is just good, and then they are like very passionate to share what they know and contribute their insights lah. So these are like the best podcasts that I have lah. And even though it's every week, I have to set up and tear down the thing, set it up and tear down the thing. Everything here is all not here one. I need to fucking pull the sofa here, all right. But when the conversation turns out good, right, I don't need to have like 1 million views, right? That's enough already. And then whatever views comes, then comes lor. It's not something I can control. Whatever on set, we try to optimize as best as we can. But whether the views come in or not, that one is like not so important that it will make me cry at night lah, you know. Yeah.
So is it possible for you to name your least favorite guest?
Wow, this one. You know the UK talk show, right? They got they spin the wheel, right? And ask people to eat like bull peanuts or this, or name your worst. This one.
Name your worst enemy on this podcast.
Wow.
Is it even possible to do that? Or is it even like logical to do that?
I shall not name who, but there's a reason why I don't get people younger than 30 years old on this podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you are younger than 30, you shouldn't be on this podcast. And just to clarify, I'm younger than 30.
But there is like small percentage of younger than 31 that has a lot of life experience to share lah. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to provide value to the audience ma. And then if you don't have enough life experience, right, then it's like we're just here talking nonsense, right? Uneducated nonsense. Then it's like wasting everybody's time. You know, have you watched content, right, where you just spend like 2 hours scrolling, then you just feel like, oh, the life you can't get back that 2 hours of your life already. You know, like very regret, very like brain rot kind of stuff. Yeah, this is what we try to avoid lah.
But like talking about value of how much each episode can bring, right? How do you decide like whether it's your fault as an interviewer that you are not asking the right questions, or do you think it's like the guest's fault that they are not answering right to the questions that you are asking, or they are not bringing the enough value that they should be?
Or it could be even at the beginning when I picked the wrong guest to interview. See so many angles, right, that we can see on it. But I think all we can do is try to optimize what we can optimize on our end, like the questions. And then you also can watch their past podcasts to see what kind of questions they are constantly being asked really. Then you try to avoid that. And then also very good is if you want to do something, right, try to be a fan of the thing. Obviously, I do podcasts because I'm a fucking addict to podcasts lah. I'm like so addicted to podcasts, okay? I can't even like explain how.
Please share your favorite podcast, top podcasts that you have watched.
It's switched,
Certain
right?
channels.
I used to like Lex Freeman a lot, but then the thing is Lex Freeman sometimes gets too dry because he speaks with like a hi, my name is Lex Freeman, and today we're gonna be introducing. You know, he literally like interviewed like the president of Argentina, the president of like India, all that kind of like big shot, right? But then he's just like, hi, I'm Lex. You know, it's like fucking straight. Yeah. So, wait, what was the previous question again? Like the the least favorite guest is what?
Like, who do you think is at fault when the podcast is not a hit?
Yeah. So I think on our end, we try to control all the controllable factors, like try to get the best possible questions, try to like cut the reels in the most thought-provoking way lah. But at the end of the day, right, this is content, right, and input largely by the guests. If you can provide them the questions beforehand, right, to kind of like prep them, right, they can come to the answer quicker, then it will not waste the audience time lah. I feel at this day and age. I love Joe Rogan 3 hours, 4 hours podcast. You know, there's one podcast with like Terrence Howard, the guy that acts as Iron War Machine beside Iron Man lah, the old actor, and then he start to get into some psycho frenzy on the podcast, do talk 4 hours, right? I love those kind of podcasts, you know, but it's not for everybody, you see. Everybody wants short and sweet and faster and, you know, get the information, chow, next content. So we have to like adapt the style for the market demand, aka listen to your customers' feedback, you know. Yeah.
AKA listen to the customers' feedback. So send in your feedback to Mr. Leonard, and then he will know what to do next for the podcast.
Yeah.
And even for Leonard plus one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Leonard plus one. Haven't even go there yet. Yeah.
Moving on to the next one, which is the unspoken truth. So, what is one of the unspoken truth that you want to talk about the nightlife industry? Now that you have been through, right, like as a DJ, you have been through like event organizer, someone who does like content for the nightlife, and then now you are like a resident also, like at 2 different clubs before.
Yeah.
So like what's your like one unspoken truth that no one has spoken about?
Wow, this one This one I think I heard it from Nash D. Just be a nice person. And then you know, whatever you do, right, at least it brings some good to the world or certain group of people. And then you'll be rewarded with good karma lah. Like you see, like Faris, when you rain, right, then Faris offered Echo to play back to back. Then today no rain, bro. It literally rained all the way until Faris said start, then no rain. Yeah, I believe in karma, man. So I think that's how you should operate, and then the stars will align. So because music, entertainment, right, is so subjective, and whatever you try to put out in the world, right, might not be what you receive at the end, right. So just try to optimize what you can optimize, and then if you really want to be in this industry, you have no choice but to hope for the best lah. You cannot like rocket science. I make this equation, this should work, you know. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about quitting? And going back to engineering maybe?
Not really, More
Really?
like whenever I'm like so frustrated to give up, right? Then I'm like, no, I'd rather be doing this, you know. So I don't really see myself taking the easy way out lah. Maybe not now lah. Maybe when I'm older, then I have less energy, then maybe I give up. I'll let you know in the podcast when I want to give up. But as of now, I like what I'm doing. I'm just frustrated that it could have been so much better. Yeah. So I'm just constantly figuring out with my team how to optimize everything.
But leading up to that, right? Do you think there is any other people like you in the scene?
Wow. In Singapore?
Yes, in Singapore.
Anyone like me?
Yeah.
As in like what? Doing the kind of thing that I'm doing?
Like doing the kind of thing with the same vision, right? Of like having the nightlife scene to go up again, and then like helping like the clubs and everything. Do you think there's like anyone that is like you? Or are they just like pushing things based on what they believe as an individual?
I believe there should be, right? But a lot of times, like, people close to me say that, oh, bro, you're the only one doing all this, you know. You hear from so many people, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe so, eh. Maybe I'm just the only one that's in the spotlight, lor. Like, people know, like, hey, this DJ Leonard is the do podcast one, right? You know? But I believe there should be, lah. But all these people should come out, you know, and then we can brainstorm and think about how to level up the nightlife, lah. Obviously, there's so many collective, right, trying to contribute to the liveliness of the scene also. Whether are they doing it for their own benefit or they are doing it to benefit nightlife in Singapore as a whole, right? We don't really know the truth, but we know they are adding to the variety of the vibrance, lah. So that's still a win, in my opinion.
Okay, whatever collective you are in, let us know so we'll feature you in the next podcast.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it with more Tanglin Gin and Fever Tree and more like Revite gummies. And then moving on to the next question, right? Let's say like what if Revelry were to like disappear? Do you think anyone would even care about it?
No lah, siao. Apple disappear also nobody care, please. Like nothing.
Are you sure?
Really.
That's
because,
a big claim to talk about.
Dude, and one China brand coming here already.
But that is crazy because like Apple, right? Like everyone is kind of in this system of like, okay, I have like iCloud, so like my MacBook, my iPad, my freaking iPhone, my mom's iPhone, my dad's iPhone, my brother's iPhone, my boyfriend's iPhone is like connected to everyone.
First world problem, right? You won't die. Like for example, CrowdStrike. You know CrowdStrike, the Microsoft problem, right?
Okay.
That one disappeared for like 3 hours. Wow, the ripple effect is great, you know. But then again, it begs the question, right? Why nobody create fail-safe or alternatives to that? Yeah. So all these big companies, you know, subjective whether they disappeared, it will create like a global impact.
So are you claiming that you are replaceable?
Of course
if
lah.
someone has like a better like idea of you like doing whatever you are doing, but then with like a better execution, you are totally replaceable.
But then the thing is also, right, you need to remember in arts and entertainment, right, it's a lot about personal connection and feeling. Like, for example, Virtual Riot. His sound design is so much crazier than Skrillex. But I like Skrillex, man. You know? I love Skrillex for what he stands for, how chill he is as a dude, how he hang out with his friends, his fashion style, you know. So, will I go out of business if other people have good ideas? I don't think so, which is why we are giving out free information every single week, you know, because I don't think there's a make or break. I think
Consume the information.
Yeah, because I think
as you wish.
If more people can get a hold of these kind of like nightlife secrets or information on how to become successful, right, then wouldn't our scene become better? And then we got more places to DJ, you know?
Yeah. Okay. One last question to end off the podcast.
Yeah.
Why do you hate or not want to associate yourself with hardstyle music? For someone that plays a lot of like hardstyle related music,
Hardcore, 200 BPM.
I need to be convinced why I should convert to playing house music. Okay, I love house music just to claim that. I love house music, but then like why do you not associate yourself with hardstyle music?
I think I'm already done with that phase of my life. For 5 years, I've been like the first purveyors of hardstyle, hardcore, hard dance music. But then I came to realize, right, where I truly like to be. I truly like to be in the center. I play good music. Whether it's mainstream, whether it's underground, right? I like to be in the center. But then the problem is, right, I realize that people at extreme ends, right, they cannot accept each other. Like the super hard music people, right, they cannot come to a chill gig. the super chill people, right, they cannot go to a hard gig. So neither will I endorse the polar ends. I like to like have the mid-range house kind of end so that I can like have maximum amount of people enjoying our product and our offerings lah, which can be said that I am considered mainstream, but I do some questionably underground stuff as well. I go to underground festivals. So I really like what I feel I like, be it underground or mainstream, right? I would like to share whatever I like, right, to the greatest amount of audience as I can, which is why I don't really endorse of hardstyle. I don't really also sadly endorse of like Lane 8 music. Yeah, I think most people don't really hear me saying about Lane 8 music because they don't even know what the fuck Lane 8 is, you know. Yeah, it's because I like, but I wouldn't per se like recommend it in my set lah. And then because it will alienate a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay. Any last words for your audience watching the Revelry podcast?
We are now figuring out our next stage of evolution, which is we used to focus a lot, right, on the guests.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Their guests, we used to focus a lot on the guests and their life stories, right? But it seems like you guys don't really want to watch that, or maybe the guest is not famous enough for you all to care. So now we will try to focus on more topics that resonate better with our audience lah, which is people in the nightlife, people in the dance music scene, and also general Singaporeans in general. Hopefully our content can spread to a larger audience to eventually reach overseas, then we can talk a little bit more about global topics lah. But now I feel like at this stage we talk about too global kind of stuff. It alienates a lot of our fans. You know, we can talk about terrorism, we can talk about all that kind of stuff, but it also takes a lot of research, right? So we'll see if we can talk about like some fun topics. You guys can contribute in the comment section below. Let us know like what fun stuff you want to hear, and then we can discuss about it in our upcoming episodes. And then now we are trying to upload 2 times a week, right? So we need a lot of ideas. Keep firing, keep firing, keep firing, keep firing.
Firing. You guys are not contributing to the podcast. So keep leaving us a comment right down there. Right down where I don't know whether it's the Revelry Telegram channel, Instagram or YouTube. Just leave us a comment like whatever
we got Telegram channel, man.
Yeah, whatever that you want to listen to. I think it's very valuable for us to like know like what is some of the interesting topics they want us to talk about, because we will totally cover that.
Then we can find the experts related to that field.
Like we can find the experts, we can find the relevant guests or whatsoever. So I think like just leave us the relevant topics that you want to know more about, and then we will cover that up. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode.